with you.
People are saying that one of my homeboys told me that I kind of carried with me over the years is something I live by too, is if you can't be used, you're useless. You know, because people being used has a bad connotation that comes along with it, right?
You can use me, but don't abuse me.
No, not even that. You can use me, but I better have a use for you.
I hear that.
You understand? Because if I don't have a use for you, what are you? You're useless.
Yeah.
You are now watching Rhymes and Politic. Spit them balls.
Yo, check it out. It's your right hand man, Cise, the host of Rhymes and Politic. Yo, we are downtown Manhattan. Look who I'm sitting next to, man. Super producer. You know his beats. You know his sound. Look, that was right on time. That was right on time. Yo, we got Rsonist of the Heatmakerz in the building. What's good, family?
What's up, my brother?
I appreciate you, man, for giving us some of your time, letting us come down. Is this the Crack Music Studios?
Nah, this is actually Diamond District Studios.
Got you. Okay.
But we're actually in the Diamond District, but before we were here, it was like my last studio was named Diamond District Studios also, and it wasn't in the Diamond District, so it's coincidental.
How many studios you been through since before you got to this one right here?
I had my first official one was on 57th Street. That was in 2002. And then I had, after that, I had one on 26th Street. That was the second one. Then I had one in the same building as Quad. That was my third one.
Okay.
Then I had one in New Rochelle. That was my fourth one. Then my one on 52nd Street, my fifth one, and then this is my sixth one.
Damn.
Yeah.
Look, and all this equipment, you got to keep lugging all this equipment.
Yeah, but it's usually, this is only from the last two studios. I've switched up, like, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of equipment got either sold or left behind. Or
upgrading and all that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's start from the beginning, man. Heatmakerz, y'all from the Bronx, the northeast section of the Bronx. Like the White Plains area, White Plains Road area?
Close enough. Gun Hill, Boston Road area.
Yeah.
Where they meet up.
Because it was a slew of y'all at first.
Yeah, it was my homeboy Thriller. He had lived up the block from me. When I was growing up, his brother was my best friend.
Gotcha.
But he was making music first and kind of taught me how to use the MP and things like that. So, yeah, it was him. As far as making music goes, it was just me and him. But it was like a team of us because, you know, my cousin was there and plus other homeboys I grew up with. So it was just like a team of us. You know what I'm saying?
Right, because I say that because I'm watching the Smack DVD.
Yeah.
It was a squaddy. I was a squad.
It's weird for me to watch that now because it's like, it's weird for just how fast time flies.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just a bugged out feeling to watch myself in my mid-20s and to realize I'm 20 years removed from that.
Yo, how does that feel though, man? Just still being in this game this long, when you look at yourself back then, like, damn, look at me right there. Like, how does that feel? How does that make you feel?
It's like I'm looking at that person and I'm like, he has no clue what he signed up for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, I don't regret any of it. I'm just saying that person didn't understand how many sleepless nights was ahead, how much stress was ahead, how much feelings of betrayal was ahead. You know what I mean? Like, so.
If you could send yourself, that younger you, a kite, what would you tell yourself?
Know your value. Know your worth. It's not a game. Know your worth. You know what I mean? Like, because at that point, it was a game to me. Because you got to remember, me and my team got into music relatively fast. We're not one of those stories that we were trying to break through for years. It was like 6 months.
Wow.
We was in the door.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Around like A-list artists.
Right.
Not saying producing for them, but in the same room, creating opportunities. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So our story was a little different.
Yep. And we know y'all known for breaking through with the Dipset. They came in, they found y'all, or you submitted them beats and stuff like that to Cameron?
We submitted beats to a dude by the name of Renee McLean, who was managing Cam at the time. And he, you know, put the CD in Cam's hands and...
It's rest is history.
Right.
That's
Here we
crazy, man. So... Before even getting to that point right there, what was the grind though? Was y'all giving away beats here?
No, we had at that point we had sold a record to Cannabis. We had a record on Cannabis's album 2000. Yeah, the sequel was called The Sequel.
That joint kind of fire though.
Yeah, but that was, you know, we didn't really know much about production and how it works and clearing samples and So it was just like a learning experience. So that, you know, to get thrown from that into doing 11 records on Diplomatic Immunity was like, we were forced to learn the business and all that other stuff that came along with it. So, you know, I'm blessed for that, man. I don't look at anything that happened in my musical career as a negative.
Right.
Because it built me into what I am right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So that point where y'all start making these hits with Dipset, how the business changed for you and your team and all that? Do y'all get the manager? How do y'all change into like covering yourself so y'all make sure y'all know y'all getting paid?
I mean, honestly, we didn't know any better. I think what it was that when we came into the music game, we didn't come into the music game starving, like needing the checks at the time.
Oh, okay.
So I think we got treated with that respect because I feel like the powers that be, when they looked at us, they was kind of like, pay them first. Even though they don't look like it was almost like that unspoken thing. I can't explain it to you. It's like any business I ever had with Dipset, it was never an issue where it was like, yo, I got to get my money. They owe me money. It was never that. Okay. And I think they treated me with that level of respect because I never looked like I was starving for it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that played a big role. And me and my whole team looked like that at the time. So it helped us get into certain doors. You know what I'm saying?
That's nice. That's dope. Let's talk about these hits y'all made for the Dipset anthem.
Right.
Crazy one right there. What was these sessions like when you sitting in there in the sessions? Are you putting input? Because you coming in, Cam is already, they up and all that.
But you got to.
Were you comfortable giving them input and all that?
No, I wasn't at all. And I was a fan still.
Right.
Even though I did 11 records on that album, you got to remember, like, people think once you start working with an artist, all that fan thing goes away. It doesn't go away because I listened to Cam probably, 4 or 5 years before I ever really got into a room with him and did music with him, you know what I'm saying? So I was a fan. So I didn't feel like I had the authority to say, yo, try this or do that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until recently when me and Jim did our last few projects together, Wasted Talent and El Capo.
Fire.
That's when I felt like I was a producer and I can give my input. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
For real?
Because
that's crazy.
I mean, well, with artists of that stature, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Not with like, up and coming artists I was working with. In that case, I knew more than them at that point.
Yeah.
But when I got back in the studio with Jim, it was kind of like, I've learned so much since the last time we worked together. Let's try this. Let's do this. And, to me, it worked out to be a classic project.
Yo, I love the evolution of Jim Jones right now. Like you said, that Wasted Talent, that El Capo,
right?
Fire, bro. I'm still banging them joints in the whip. Like those is good riding music right there.
Appreciate it, my brother.
How when you and Jim in here cooking up?
Yeah.
How are y'all cooking up multiple tracks at a time? What's the process?
Usually,
is he fast with the rhymes?
Yeah, because Jim don't write.
I see that
Jim
now.
Jim will lay out on the couch, smoke something, look like he falling asleep,
Some Biggie shit.
and then jump up 20 minutes later with a verse. You know what I'm saying? So, and I know how he works now. So and then he might not do a whole song. He'll do like a verse, maybe a piece of a hook, and then move on to another record, and then come back like a week later, like, yo, pull up that song from last week, and then probably finish it there. That's kind of how El Capo was put together, because when we did Wasted Talent, we had so many skeletons of leftover records that I'm like, we can't just leave these shits like this. And he was like, yo, let's do a Heatmakerz Jim Jones project.
Yo, I'm glad.
And then that turned into El Capo, because as we started finishing records, we was like, yo, this shit is special, man.
I got something here,
Yeah. I knew that first. I used to hit Jim all the time. I think he thought I was bugging. I would just text him out the blue like, yo, this project is special, man. I've been listening to this shit in the car. I've been listening to this shit in the gym. This project is special. He'd be like, yeah, let's just keep working, nigga. You know what I mean? But then I think one day it hit him, like, because certain celebrities started hitting Jim like, yo, because, we would put up clips of what we were working on.
Yeah.
And certain celebrities would hit him like, yo, this shit is crazy. Like, yo, this might be your best album. And I think at that point it started to hit him.
That's what I think, too. I think so, too. Like, I'm like, oh, nah, this is it right here.
I mean,
but I was already following him from the Summer in Miami era.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Those the joint he did with Rel.
Yeah.
So I was already watching. I'm like, okay, let me see what he gonna do.
But this is like the joints we did, and the numbers don't lie, man. Like, you know, me and Jim, I executive produced Wasted Talent with Jim. I produced 5 records on there.
Okay.
And to date, I think that's about 80 million streams, that project. El Capo's at about 135 million streams to date. You know what I'm saying? So, and then the closest project he got to that, I think, is like 15 million streams. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
So
that
obviously
El Capo is it, bro.
yeah, obviously there's something in the energy between me and Jim when we work
Yeah.
together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
keep that going.
I think he knows that, but I think it's kind of intimidating when you make an album like El Capo to try to top that.
Yeah.
And I think he feels that. You know what I mean? He's never said that to me.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably what goes on in his brain.
Are y'all going to work on another
I want
project
to.
in the future? Or
I
y'all ain't
want-
did nothing yet? Or
Nah,
y'all just doing little
nah,
songs here and there after that?
I mean, Jim's been working with other producers and
Yeah,
stuff
he
like
working.
that. But like I said, I feel there's like an intimidation factor where it's like he feels the need to outdo El Capo
El
because
Capo set
first
the-
there was
set the
Wasted
bar.
Talent, and then El Capo surpassed
Mm-hmm.
Wasted Talent, and now I think he feels the need to surpass El Capo, which I feel too, but I feel like we can do it. I don't feel like it's something that's impossible because music is music, man. As long as you got that type of vibe in your heart while you making music, man, you're always gonna make the best music. You know what I'm saying? It's the
Yep.
people that try to make certain shit.
Yeah.
Make what you feel,
Yeah.
because we never know what we're gonna make. You know what I'm saying?
So, like in your early production, the samples was real big and heavy. Now it kind of feel like more. It's settled into your soul a little more.
Yeah, because
you know what I mean?
I'm older too, man. So it's like the music is coming from my brain, so it's like my brain is more relaxed now. When
Right.
I was in my early 20s, like I said, it's like
Real live,
it was
energetic,
just
moving
it
around
was
crazy.
Just, It was just run and gun. It was no real method behind my madness. It was just like work. This sample's dope. Flip a beat, make a beat. It wasn't like I'm doing it for a purpose. It was like just make the best beat you can make.
Right.
And that's why I say I don't really think I was a producer then. I was just a dude that made beats, you know what I mean, that happened to get placed on albums. But later in my career, I became a producer where I cared about taking out this instrument out of a beat because it gives the artist more space.
Yeah, really breaking it down.
Or maybe not putting drums on this record because it sounds better without it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, so, you know, over the years, I've progressed into or evolved into what I am now.
When you was learning the production through your partner, Thriller, right?
Right.
What was that time span where you really got it down packed, when you found your groove and all that? How long was that? Like a year, 2, 3 years?
It was, so here's what it was like, man. It was like, it took me, and I know this is gonna sound bugged out, but anybody that creates that's real with themselves will understand what I'm saying. It took me about 10 years to work out all the kinks, because what would happen is I would have a 2-month period where I made nothing but fire, and then I'd hit a dry spell for like a month. And then the month after, I'd have like 2 weeks where I made something fire and hit like another 3-week dry spell. And then over the years, I started having less and less dry spells because I was really figuring music out.
Gotcha.
And so now I'm at the point where shit moves seamlessly.
Okay.
Only reason I can have a dry spell now is if I don't work.
Makes
You know what I
sense.
mean?
Yeah.
So that's what happened. It's not like I ever woke up one day and was like, yo, I got it. It's just, you know, it's like practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
You do shit enough till it's almost like, it's like we were talking about earlier, it's like breathing.
Yep.
For me, that's what making music is for me. It's almost like just taking a breath. I don't think about it. It's like my body's programmed to do that.
Yeah, yeah. See, we didn't have YouTube University back then where you could
Right.
look at videos and
Right.
figure things out. You had to
Right.
actually put that work in, that time in
And
and
then,
all that.
and then there was a certain level of pride that came along with when you knew that you got to another level.
Yeah.
Where you did something you never did before, and you're like, oh shit, I'm getting better.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And it's like, that's how I know I love music, because that still happens to me. I'll be doing something, I'm like, oh shit, like the way I put this together. It's like, sometimes I listen to my music as if somebody else made it. I don't do it purposely. It's almost like I can't believe I did this.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So as long as I keep getting that feeling, I know that I still love what I'm doing.
Where you pull this inspiration from to like create like these sounds and all that, like, because now you work with artists. It's just you and the artist, and you tailor-made
Right.
tailor-made
Right.
beats for them.
Right.
Not cooking up and just sending joints out now no more.
Right.
You know what I mean? So where do you pull inspiration from?
Honestly, I feel like I look at it on a different level now in the sense as far as music goes. Like, and again, this was off camera, but we spoke about this. I feel like there's so much power in music because you can create something that can live forever.
Yeah.
And like I was saying to you before, as special as kids are, even your kids won't live forever. So even that creation fades away.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is one of the few professions where you can create something that
Live past you.
lives way, way past you. Like Michael Jackson's music is gonna live until this earth disintegrates.
Yep.
You understand?
Yep.
And that's like, how many people can you say did that with their life?
Yeah.
And like I was saying before, it's almost like if this was a video game, that would be the equivalent of beating the final boss.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because it's
Yep.
like if your purpose on earth is to leave your footprint in the cement, that's the ultimate form of that.
Yeah.
You understand? Because that cement is going nowhere.
That's a fact.
You know, like you
That's
could do a bunch of shit in life, man, but there's the only few things that keeps your name alive forever and ever. Like I guarantee you there were excellent basketball players in the 60s and that they don't mention at all anymore. There's no
Exactly.
footage of them. People don't
Right.
care enough.
Yep.
But in their time, they thought this is it.
Yeah.
Music, and this is another level of thinking about music. Music nowadays, especially, is strictly a feeling, right? Like back in the day when you bought music, you bought a CD, you had something physical to hold on to.
Even back then, I was getting the 3 for $10 tapes.
Right.
at
You
River
had,
Park Towers.
but even then, you went home, you had something physical, you had a
Yes.
tape to look
Yeah,
at.
you could open up
now,
the booklet and all that.
Right. Now you buy music, you're strictly downloading or streaming a feeling. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
right? Because
yeah.
you have nothing to look at. You have nothing tangible to hold on to.
Yep.
So that lets you know the power of music. Who else can go to work and say, yo, I'm going to make a few $1,000s off of creating a feeling? Not even saying a word to a nigga. When a nigga buys a record from, like a beat from me, and pays me thousands of dollars for that beat, he leaves the studio with nothing but an email
Yeah.
to listen to.
Yeah.
He can't see, touch, or taste that. You understand? All he
Yeah.
could do is be like, I'm gonna put this shit on repeat. But they're paying thousands of dollars for that because that feeling is irreplaceable.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
That should let you know how powerful of a feel that we're in, that somebody will pay you thousands of dollars for something that's not tangible.
Almost like crypto right now, the way the streaming is going on right now.
Right, but even crypto you can turn into something tangible. Music you can too, if done correctly and promoted and shit like that. But the initial MP3 or WAV file, those are just sounds.
Yeah. Because before you had to use the
Right.
DATs and all that.
Right, so now if you
Floppy
listen to
disk.
it, you in your car, you getting hype, you feel like it's money well spent.
Yeah. Yep.
This shit got me charged all the way from here back home. I just wrote a whole rhyme. This shit gonna change my life. That feeling that you're giving to that artist of this record is it. That's the feeling they're paying for.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's a powerful thing, man. I think if more musicians treated it like that, we would hear much better music.
That's a fact. Nah,
You know,
you're
and
right.
not to down anybody's music. I'm just saying a lot of musicians are half-assing their music because technology allows them to.
Yeah.
You know, so
I'm glad you said that because we got the car behind us right here.
right.
Is this your weapon of choice?
Yes, 100%.
Do you do instruments too? Can you work with
A
instruments?
little bit, nothing crazy, but you know, I
You
know
like to
my,
hit them
I know
pads.
my like the congas, guitar a little bit.
Yeah.
You know,
'Cause
I
you-
learn a little bit of everything just so I know my way. Like I know how to mix records, master records, because to me that's important. I don't want to be in a room with somebody and I don't know if they bullshitting me or not.
How did you learn that though?
Because
the engineering part though.
because the engineer was bullshitting me. I didn't know at the time because I'm new. So he's telling me it's gonna take 25 minutes to copy these vocals and put it over here, and I'm believing him because I didn't know no better at the
Right,
time.
right.
And then at that time, I think me and my homeboys was paying like $50 an hour for studio time, and this engineer was wasting hours moving vocals around and shit. And I'm like, yo, fuck it, I gotta learn this shit.
Yeah.
And when I learned it, I'm like, Oh, he was bullshitting us. This shit takes 20 seconds.
So did you sit with an engineer and he
No.
kind of showed you the pointers, or
I can't do that.
how'd you figure it out?
You know why I don't do things like that? Why I don't like letting people teach me things? Is because I don't want to do things their way.
Got you.
If I learn the way you do it, I'm going to do it your way. I might watch it and be like, okay, cool. I see how he did that. Let me try it my way.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Same
Yeah.
thing with music. It's like, I could never watch a tutorial on how to use the MPC because now I'm going to use it like that guy.
Understood.
You understand? And
Okay.
now it's going to change my sound.
Okay.
Because the reason my sound is because I use that machine the way, it's like a guitar is a guitar. But if you put it in Jimi Hendrix's hands, it sounds totally different.
Yes, sir.
Than
Yeah,
if you put it
yeah.
in a regular dude. You understand?
Right.
So it's the same thing with this. It's like, you can't tell me Jimi Hendrix learned from anybody. He probably had people that he watched, but nobody taught him how to play left-handed on a right-handed guitar.
Yeah.
That was just his shit.
Now that you just said that, because he had to watch somebody and
Yeah,
get
pick
that
up little
spark, right?
shit. Yeah.
So when you started getting into your groove as a producer and coming up, who was like some of the producers you looked up to? Like
Premier,
there you go.
RZA,
Yeah. Pete Rock.
Pete Rock to a certain extent, but I liked Pete Rock, but I was more into Primo because of like the aggression of his drums and
The scratching and the
his
sample.
not even really the scratching, like his choice of chops and the way like the
Yeah.
things he chose to chop up, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And like the RZA was the feelings that the samples that the RZA chose,
Mm-hmm.
the feelings behind those samples, I'm like, yo, damn, he finds the perfect pitch for these samples to give him the right emotion. And I admired that about him.
Yeah.
So if anything, I took that from him. With Premier, it was more of like how he chopped samples, the part of the samples he chose to chop. And I'm like, how he put shit together. And I'm like, he made it feel as if the MPC was an instrument the way he put those chops
Yeah,
together. And
yeah.
I appreciated that about him. So
Yeah.
I kind of took little things like that from him and little things from RZA and meshed certain, like Dr. Dre, I love sonically the way his music sounds.
Yeah.
Like no matter what.
It sounds full. Like
Right,
it's
no matter
like
what
it
system
wraps
you
around
put it in, it sounds crazy. So I kind of try to take that from him. So it's like, everybody that I was a fan of, I try to take what I like from this style.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
still make it my own.
Right. Yeah. Break that. Is this a new model that they came out with right here?
Well, this isn't the newest, no, but it's close to one of the newest. It's the MPC-X.
I never seen this one right here. So
Yeah, this
break
the
this
X.
down from where you started from, the machine you started from, to where we
Well,
at now with this one.
One, this is what the modus in now is hooked up to my laptop, which wasn't a possibility before. You know what I'm saying? Like
Okay.
when I first started, I had a load up disc.
Right.
Like to get it to start, I had to put the load up disc
Yep,
in, wait
yep.
about 25 seconds for the operating system to load up,
Mm-hmm.
take the load up disc out, make whatever beat I'm gonna make, save the beat on a floppy disk, and you know what I'm saying?
All that work you got to do now, they crush
And then
it down
to track
so
it
simple.
out, I would have to have eight cables coming out the back, and each cable represented one sound. So if I had 16 sounds in the beat, I had to run 2 passes, hook it up, what they call SMPTE. SMPTE was like a time code which connected this to like some outboard gear that they had that would almost sync this to the board.
Damn.
So yeah, you understand? So it was like a whole process. Now to track something out, it's literally nothing. I go into the channels, assign the channels, and hit send, and
Right.
then the shit is tracked out. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Wow.
So as far as technology goes, this has come a long way.
That's crazy.
And which is kind of dope. We talking about it. I did a partnership with Akai where I have a Heatmakerz crack pack. It's called a crack pack coming out. So it's a drum pack.
How can they get that? Is it coming out? When is it
Yeah,
coming out?
it's gonna come out on Akai. Right now they have their developers like making sure everything is straight with the sounds and
Okay.
renaming the sounds and shit like that. And so to be optimistic, I would say
When it's coming out?
September.
Okay.
Hopefully September, you know what I'm saying? Because it was supposed to come out in April, but then they had put out something called Stems, and they spent like 3 months promoting that.
Okay.
So they pushed back the drum pack. So the dude from Akai hit me the other day, so I'm assuming they're ready to do it now. So I'm assuming by like September we
Yeah.
should be good.
So when you got this machine, I guess you have like an account with the website or whatever like that. That's how you get the pack?
Oh, you mean as far as for somebody that just wants to buy the pack?
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you follow Akai, if you go to their website, they'll be promoting it on their website,
Okay.
and you could download it straight from there, and you
Okay.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And have a majority of the sounds that I have.
Yo, imagine this evolution right here from, because when you was producing for Dipsy, I was in Baseline Studios and all that, right?
Yeah, but
Big ass
but here's
boards
the
and all that.
crazy shit. Like when I got my first one, a dude by the name of Todd Terry bought me my first one because obviously, you know, I couldn't afford it at that time. And it's just crazy that I couldn't afford one of these. And now it's like I have like the head dude from the company in my phone and we speak and we're in talks of doing a special edition Heatmakerz MPC. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
where it's
fire.
like it's going to be a limited amount made. You know,
Is it going to have your logo on there and all that? Oh,
yeah.
that's going
you know,
to be
but
crazy.
we're going to go through the process of me actually designing it and shit like that. So that'll be dope.
Yeah, because that's the story you just said with the brother bringing you equipment.
Right.
Thousands of dollars worth of equipment.
Right.
Did you have to pay him back or how?
Nah,
how?
he told me, he said, yo, when you become a big producer, you just owe me 2 free beats.
That's it?
Yeah, but
Yo,
he's
God
my
bless that brother,
he's my
man.
homeboy to this day.
Salute to that brother, man.
Yeah.
Look at what you just made here,
Yeah.
man.
But Todd Terry, anybody that's into like house music, like Todd Terry is that guy.
Yeah.
He's like right now, I think he's in Ibiza doing shows and shit. Like, yeah,
Wow.
He's like a big deal in the house world. He's like, I tell people all the time, he's the first rich musician I've ever met. You know what I
Really?
mean? Like when I went to his crib, Ferraris and Bentleys,
Yeah.
and so he let me know it was possible. Like, oh shit, you can actually live like this off of making music. Like, okay, I gotta focus.
That's a fact.
You know,
Yeah.
so I thank him for that, man.
The future now, because now we just see you by yourself.
Right,
When y'all was rising,
right.
you started seeing people falling off.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, at the time you don't realize it, but it's that's the way the world has to work. You understand? Because who you evolve into might not coincide with the person with your friend that you grew up with. Because who they evolve into might not suit you.
Yeah.
So it's like, sometimes you gotta learn to recognize that and say, you know what, I can still be cool with this person, but not in the same capacity.
Right.
We used to chill together every day. We can't do that now. Our goals are different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Our outlook on life is different. So I learned that now is where it's like, it's no hard feelings now. It's like, I guess I've come to grips with the fact that things change.
I was going to ask you that because was there a certain moment in your life? Because the way you think now is different from back then.
Much different.
At what point in your life did you start picking that up?
I think it was
What part?
because
what
I
part of
used
your
to-
career?
I used to be like in the studio 6-7 days a week. You know what I'm saying? Until my youngest daughter was born. And after she was born, like, you know, certain things started happening as far as like, you know, people in your family are getting older and illnesses and
Yeah.
certain things pop up. And when things like that happen, it forces you to put life into perspective. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So what I used to deem as important, I realized that my attention was in the wrong place. You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying?
Yep.
So with those things that happened in my life, it kind of molded me into the mind frame that I'm in now because, you know, like, and I would want everybody to understand that the materialistic shit that comes along with this lifestyle that you probably want really means nothing at the end of the day.
There you go.
You buy a car, let's just say you get a 2025 Bentley.
Yeah, after a while, it's
And
like,
sooner
all
or
right.
later, guess what? They're gonna come out with the 2026
Right, now
and the
you-
2027.
now you're
And
looking at this one like,
now you're gonna
alright.
feel like, damn, the body changed. I'm in some
Uh-huh.
old shit. Meanwhile, you worked towards this car because you thought that car represented a certain type of, you know, like level of lifestyle for
Yeah.
you, not realizing that. Think about it. Think about the things you wanted when you were like 21 years old. I remember when I was in college, I wanted nothing more than a fucking Montero Sport. Right? And I don't.
Them shits
and-
was fire,
Right,
though.
back then.
Them
But
joints
now,
was fire.
but now
I
look,
wanted the Acura Legend.
right. So you understand where I'm coming from. So now you look back and you're like, yo, I'd have did anything for that Montero. Now it's like a Montero. Like, what the
Right.
fuck was I?
I need that
And
range
you're gonna feel that way about shit. When years are removed, you're gonna be like, yeah, I was bugging. I busted my ass at work, got sick because I worked too much to buy this crib or to buy this car. Meanwhile, it's like you move into a crib, sooner or later you're gonna want a bigger crib because you put more shit in that crib, so you're like, you don't got no space no more.
Yeah.
You get a bigger crib, same shit is gonna happen. Same thing with a car. You get a car, after about a year, you get tired of it, you're like, yo, they just put out a new body, man. I gotta get that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just enough is enough sometimes, and I think I've realized that. Like, don't get me wrong, there's things that I love. Like I've always been a dude who loves jewelry since I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I do that because that's my like reward to myself for things that I've done. Like I like this, I'm gonna spend my money on it and get this.
Yeah.
But as far as other things in my life, I try not to live above and beyond what, you know what I mean? It's just
And
like
keeping up with other people, trying to keep up.
There is no keeping. And at the end of the day, a lot of these people are fronting in line. They living from check to check.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And as long as I know my bills are paid, my kids
That's
are
it.
good, my wife is happy, my life is, that's a success to me.
Yeah, and I think you got to get to a certain age in a mind frame to think like that too, because
And you got to realize how
you done did it already. You done bought all that.
And I
got all the
realized
clothes.
too, that thing that I used to chase when I was in my 20s, when I say that thing, I mean that level of notoriety in the music game.
Yeah.
I realized that when I got close to it, it wasn't all it was cracked up to be.
Yeah.
It was kind of like you're surrounded by people who are just like actors and actresses where they're like, they're not really themselves. They're playing a role to get next to you because they feel like you can further their career.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you never really know who you've been around for years until your career starts to slip and you see everybody fade away.
Yeah.
And there might be one or two people left that's like really fucked with you.
Right.
But then the 95%, like I remember when my career was, when music was changing, like in the trap music and people weren't really fucking with my music like that.
Yeah, you took a little hiatus?
Right. And I remember one day my mother said to me, because a lot of people used to be I used to have a studio in her basement, so a lot of people would be in the basement like when shit was rocking.
Right.
And I remember one day I went to go see her.
So that was like your first studio? Mama Love
yeah,
Basement.
exactly. That's where I made like Dipset Anthem, I'm Ready,
Right.
all that other shit.
Yeah.
So I remember when shit slowed down, I remember she was like, where's all the people I used to see around you? Where they at? How come I don't see nobody don't even, you know what I mean, come by here no more. I used to see you with 4 or 5 people.
Where that love go?
And when she said it, it just made me think like, this is exactly what this shit is. Because when you're winning, you don't think that there's an end to that shit.
Right.
A lot of these niggas will lie to you and say like, nigga, nah, I never stopped winning. I was always, nah, nigga. I don't give a fuck who you are. You hit that dry spell.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are.
Yo, I'm glad
Nobody
you said
excluded.
that. Yo, I'm glad you said
Nobody. And this is what I'm saying to you.
Go ahead.
When I say that dry spell, it's different for other people. So if you're an artist that's used to making $1 million a month, and now your dry spell hit and you're only making $300,000 a month,
Yeah.
that's a hit to you.
That's a fact.
You lost 70% of your bread
Yeah.
monthly. That's a hit. To the average person, like, nigga, you good. You make, no, nigga. His bills is $500,000 a month.
That's a fact. Different.
You understand? So every artist takes that hit. I don't give a fuck who you are. Some artists have risen to the point where they're just on autopilot now, like the Jay-Z's and the Rihanna's and the Beyoncé's of the world.
Yeah.
But that other tier, don't let them lie to you, man. Don't let them lie to you. If their record's not hot, they not touring as much, trust me, they feel it.
Yeah, because you got these inspiring creatives that want to get in, and they think this joint lasts forever. Like,
And this is what I'm saying this for the people that have never experienced success in the music game and think that this shit, once you win, you always win.
yes,
Hell no.
yeah,
As when the popularity of a record dies, so does the money that comes along with it. To me, that's simple math. Like, everybody should be able to figure that out. The less you hear a record, the less money the creators are making.
understood. Unless you licensing on TV shows and movies.
But even
and stuff
then, you're
like
going to
that.
hear it in the TV shows, you're going to hear it in the movies. So what I'm saying is, if you don't hear a particular record in nothing,
Yeah,
that artist isn't making money off of that record.
got you. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what the up and coming artists and producers need to understand, is that
Prepare for that.
you only make money because you're sought out for.
You hot
People
for that
want
season.
something that you have. That's
Yeah.
why it's important to create a sound and a style for yourself. Because even after the fanfare dies down with your shit commercially, you still have hardcore fans that say, I need that sound. How much
Absolutely.
for it? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, yep.
So that's where I was lucky enough to to stay relevant and
Right.
sustain my lifestyle, because my hardcore fans sustain my lifestyle for me, because they like, yo, I need music from you. How much? Yo, let's do a project. Let's do this. Let's do that. Heads of companies that were probably fans of my music when they were in high school, now they're the CEO of this company. They reaching out to do work. So it's
Yeah.
like, because of the style and the sound.
That's a blessing, man.
So, yeah,
Damn,
1 million%
I
is a
salute you, Arsonist,
blessing.
man. I salute you, bro.
Thank you, my brother.
Do you mentor? Okay. Do you mentor new and upcoming producers? You have time for that?
I've done it before. I don't want to say I do it on a regular basis, but at one point, right before the pandemic, I was doing master classes.
Okay.
Where I would maybe have about 8 different producers in here, and not saying that I would teach them how to make music, but I would talk to them about the things that people don't really talk to you about in the beginning of your career, as far as like, how does the business work? How do you
Right.
sell music?
Right.
What happens if somebody wants your music?
Right.
What's the next step? You know what I'm saying? So like, we talked about that. They would play me music. They would ask me questions. And to me, I wish I had something like that when I was coming up, because
Definitely.
it would have saved me a lot of money,
Yeah.
losing a lot of money, you know, dealing with fraudulent people and not knowing the way this music game works.
Okay.
Especially the most important part, which is, you know, the publishing side.
Yeah. That's some. So you gotta because we see you by yourself now. So you got a
Right.
team that
As far as
who's helping
Heatmakerz
you.
go?
Yeah. Do you got the license to that name, or the
Yeah,
the LLC to that name?
Yeah, Heatmakerz is me.
You own that. That's all you.
Yeah.
So what about crack music?
Well,
What's the difference between crack music and the Heatmakerz?
Crack music is just a slogan. Heatmakerz is the brand.
Gotcha.
Like, we've called it crack music since, because I don't know if you remember, but like in the early 2000s, if something was fire, they'd be like, yo, that shit crack.
That's a fact. Yeah.
So we labeled our shit crack music early. You know what I'm saying? And it just kind of never really faded. It still kind of, it holds up. It
Yeah.
don't sound old. It don't sound
Yep.
corny. It's like, it's crack music. It's still, crack still is what it is, nigga. You know what I mean? If you grew up in a certain place, you
Word.
understand that crack is still crack. So
Yep.
the name holds up.
Yeah. So now in the present time, right now, you do projects with certain artists. Do
Right.
they come to you, or are you searching them out?
Both ways.
Okay.
Both ways. Like, I'm fans of people that I'll reach out to. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I did a project with a guy by the name of OT the Real from Philly.
Yeah.
I was a fan of his. You know what I mean? Even though I knew him through his manager, but I was still a fan of his. So
Right.
I proposed the idea, like, let's do a little, 7-song EP.
Mm-hmm.
And we did that, which, I'm happy to do shit like that, because he had a buzz on his own already.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to, add to whatever he was doing.
That's dope.
But other times it'll be a mutual thing. Like me and Locksmith he's from the West Coast. I don't know if you're familiar with Locksmith,
Yep,
but he's
yep.
dope. It was kind of a mutual thing. Like he came to New York, we met up just chilling. I'm playing the music. And he was like, "Yo," I don't know if he said it or I said it, but one of us was like, "Yo, man, we should put together like a little." And I think I said it, and he was like, "Yeah, I was thinking the same thing." And then from that point on, we start to test the waters. I
Right.
send music to him. He
Yeah.
might send me back a verse, and we just kind of see what it's sounding like. And then before we go full steam ahead, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
dope. Yeah. Look, I came in, y'all. My brother Amir was here. They was just pumping the
Yeah, we got a
project. Y'all,
project.
they got together.
Yeah.
Yo, this joint is crazy, man. I ain't even gonna say nothing. When y'all hear this,
Yeah, No Soul Left Behind. My brother Amir. Big shout out to Amir, True Soul Records. Amir's actually signed to Pete Rock,
Yep.
but me and Amir have been friends now for, I want to say friends, man. Amir's like my brother. Amir's been my brother now for like, shit. I met Amir, first time I met Amir, I was doing a record with CL Smooth.
oh shit.
So
wow.
we're talking about 2004.
Okay.
Yeah, so I met Amir in 2004, so I've known Amir now for 20 years.
I met him around 2010.
Okay.
We was at some industry event downtown or whatever like
Right.
that. Good brother.
Good dude,
We was
man.
outside just chopping it up.
Very intelligent dude, good dude, knows his shit,
yes,
you know
sir.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Had him on a show previously. Go check that out if you ain't check it out if you ain't
yeah,
seen
good
it. But
dude.
I came in and I heard it from the door. I said, "Oh shit!" I come in, my brother's standing right here, mid, they in here vibing. I had to sit down. I said, "Oh nah, let me chill out for a minute. We'll get to this after that's done." What other artists you look forward to working with?
Well, I got a project coming out with Joel Ortiz called War, with all respect. Incredible, man. Like we got Styles P on there, we got MOP on there.
That's gonna be crazy.
We got Ransom on there. And we got some new artists that's dope. Dude by the name of Jeremy Torres, Angel Hill.
You also did one with Sammy Snow.
I did a project with Sammy Snow. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's actually gonna be released in a few days.
Okay.
So yeah, Sammy Snow, it's a project called Samuel. We did it's about 5 records. And like I was saying before during his listening session, is that Snow is the type of artist that, because there's nothing in the industry like it, as far as like, I can't even describe, if I had to describe what his music is, I don't know if words would do it justice, in the sense of what it's a mixture of.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
almost like country meets hip hop, folk with a little bit of
Alternative.
soul, and
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's a gumbo of shit. But to me, it's one of those things that it's so new that even we're fine tuning it. You know what I'm saying? Which is dope to me. I like doing shit like that, because
That's a challenge.
when you can make somebody believe like that, it's a different type of power. It's like, oh, because sooner or later they'll get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yup.
that's what I wanted Snow to understand. Like, even if they don't get it out the gate, sooner or later they'll double back and get it. Like, oh, I see what they were
Right.
doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yup. Yo.
So that's dope.
Yo, Rsonist, I want to just give you your flowers, my brother. You've been doing your thing.
I appreciate you, my brother.
Keep giving us that fire, that heat, that crack. Yo, you see the plaques behind me, man. This says it all right here. You see his resume right there. Give the people some good words to take us up out of here. Because you got some, I could just sit here and just listen to you talk all day, because we just sitting out there, you was just going in. I was like, damn, I'm going to throw the cameras off. But
Yeah, but it's, it's healthy conversation.
I love it, bro. I'm glad I was able to sit down with you.
I'm gonna give people a saying that one of my homeboys told me that I kind of carried with me over the years, is something I live by too, is if you can't be used, you're useless. You know, because people being used has a bad connotation that comes along with it, right?
You can use me, but don't abuse me.
No, not even that. You can use me, but I better have a use for you.
I hear that.
You understand? Because if I don't have a use for you, what are you? You're useless.
Yeah.
So it has to be a reciprocal thing.
Right.
That's why I say if you can't be used, you're useless. And it's a two-way street.
Yes, absolutely.
You understand?
Yep.
So again, that's something I live by, because I don't like people around me that I don't have a use for.
Yeah.
You understand? And again, if you're around me, you better have a use for me.
Yeah.
Or else why would you be around me?
Right.
Just to chill and look in my face and nah, nigga,
Right.
like this is, at the end of the day, we leave our houses or our cribs for a purpose. We don't leave our cribs just to stare at another human being like, all right, cool, I'm headed back home, I've seen enough of you. Nah, it's like, while I'm around you, I'm going to use you for your purpose, and I would hope you use me for my purpose.
Absolutely.
And that's how we going to be productive. You know what I'm saying? Because if everybody around you got a use, your life is productive.
Yo, that's a good way to end out.
Yeah.
How can the people follow you?
Straight Instagram, man. Official Heatmakerz with a Z. And yeah, that's it. Everything else, I don't really respond to like that. But, Instagram, I'll hit you.
Yeah.
For a
Do you
fact.
be out a lot, like in events, or you just keep it right here in the stew?
Man,
you look like a lab rat.
Yeah,
like
I'm in controlled environments, man.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want any mishaps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yo.
My life is good, man. I want to keep it that
Yo,
way.
I'm with you, bro. I'm on that same type of time. Look, you see me. Boom,
Right.
bing, bang, bing. Yo, Rsonist, salute to you, bro. We give you flowers, rhymes, and politics. We give you crazy flowers, man.
Thank you,
Keep
my
doing your
brother.
thing, man. I'm proud of you. We got your back over here. Anything you need from us, just hit us up. If you got any artists you want us to come that down, hit me up, bro. It's no
I
problem.
might have to do something for the project with me and Joel.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's have a sit down. We come back through.
War, with all respect, coming soon, man. Fire.
Ooh. Awesomeness.
My
I
brother,
appreciate
thank
you,
you,
bro.
man.
No, thank you. Thank you for giving us some of your time.
All love,
Yo,
my brother.
follow, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Awesomeness is in the building. Crack music, Heatmakerz for life.